digital currency. Okay, and we're going to go into that so in a way that you'll be able to understand iGold fully, and it's supported by anybody who wants to be a part of it. It's open source, and it is the two terms that you're going to become familiar with today is centralized, which means government or corporate oversight and control, or decentralized, which means no government control, no corporate control. It is the community that runs the network, okay? And we're going to talk about how that works, how it doesn't work, how it can fail, and how it's safe or how it's not safe, so that you know all of those things. So we're going to talk about Bitcoin, blockchain basics. We'll talk a little cryptocurrency. We'll talk about buy and hold and how you do that. So you should be able to leave here today with an understanding about Bitcoin, the blockchain, how it works, how to get started if you want to get started. Okay? It's a lot. So a little bit about myself. That is a real chicken, Bitcoin chicken. He's at my property. Steve will verify that today. I borrowed his bling, but you know, they don't walk around with that all the time. But these are my little monkeys. Those are my two children, 6 and 4. Almost 4, he's still 3. And then there's my beautiful wife that puts up with me and all my craziness. Okay? And Steve can verify that.
Yeah, she's a blessing.
He prays for her every night. And I pray for his wife.
She needs it.
All right, so a little bit about me. I have some experience in the digital side with building software, building management. I work on boilers and chillers and things like that, but I've always dabbled on the sideline with hardware and software and things like that. I have an entrepreneurial business history. I was lucky enough, I'm not an investing guru, but I'm cautious when it comes to investing anyway. Real estate I had a hard time with, but investing in the .com history I actually did good, so I figured that's bragging rights. I got involved early in Bitcoin technology about 2010, the end of 2010. I actually was dabbling in Bitcoin. Have a few pennies that's lost out in space, and we'll talk about how you could lose yours too if you want.
Yeah. No.
At that time, Bitcoin was just a curiosity. To me, I heard about it, I read about it, I read the white paper, which describes everything about Bitcoin. And I thought, wow, you know, if we don't jump on this, the government will, and they'll have total control over our money and manipulate it more and worse than they do now. So I thought, this is interesting. So I kind of dabbled on the fringes for way back then. But we've gotten more involved since 2017. We started investing in mining. 2018, in March, we realized that there's kind of a niche, or niche, if you would, for people who wanted one-on-one and family-friendly. So a lot of guys that are out there, if you YouTube Bitcoin, the top guys are dropping the F-bombs. You can't listen to it in front of your kids if you're a concerned parent like I am, and you want your kids to be able to control their tongue. You know they're going to learn that stuff at some point. But so we fill that niche. MountainCrypto.net is my website. You can check it out. So first, before we talk about Bitcoin, because everybody thinks about money, it's funny money. I like to talk about money. Money is just a means of exchange. That's all it is. It's only worth, because all money now is fiat, right? We went off the gold standard in 1970. Back then, you know, at one point you could take a silver certificate down and get some silver. You had something of value. Well, now it's based off of our gross national product, right? What we produce outside of our, you know, what we produce as a country. So basically that'd be like me saying, well, you know, I'm really rich because he makes a lot of money. He makes a lot of stuff. He builds a lot of things. That's what our government does. Basically looks at all us and says, our money's worth a lot because you guys are all making stuff happen. All right? And it seems to work with manipulation, right? But a lot of people don't have faith in that system, but that's the system we have, and we all have enough faith in it that we use that money every day to transfer value and to buy and sell and trade and exchange. That's what money is. Some of the modern forms that we're all familiar with are up there, ATM cards. Some of the other ones that are kind of like Bitcoin in a way, bank transfers, ETFs, Apple Pay. You scan your Apple, people get Apple items or whatever, right? PayPal, Amex. If you don't know what payment method acceptance is, that just means like, you know, I'm up here in Descanso and I'm like, yeah, you know, I want some of your honey. And he says, oh, well, you know, I just need firewood. Give me firewood.
Like barter?
That's his payment acceptance, is firewood, right? So that mining unit, that big one right there, that energy hog right there, that thing, when I bought it off of the main company that makes mining equipment that really is high powered and produces a lot of profit when it first comes out. And then the profit levels go very quickly. But anyway, they only accepted a particular cryptocurrency as payment. Bitcoin Cash, which is offshoot of Bitcoin. Okay, so some of these cryptocurrencies actually have offshoots of them, and they call that a fork. So if everybody in the Bitcoin community cannot come to a consensus in what direction to go when an obstacle comes up or something, or they want to update something, they actually vote, and if a consensus is not reached, then there is a fork. It's called a hard fork. Okay? If they need to change their whole platform for a particular reason, like Ethereum, which is another top 3 cryptocurrency, Bitcoin is number 1, the king. They had a consensus to change their algorithm. Okay, so right now they do what is called proof of work. Proof of work just means that it takes a lot of mining power to make it happen, and you have to prove that you did the work to a majority of the network before it's validated. We'll go into what validating is and networks and all of that stuff. Okay, and of course we go into cryptocurrencies, so I don't want to digress too much. So in 2008, the white paper came out for Bitcoin. It was born in 2009. The first group of individuals, who are mostly all multi-millionaires right now, started mining Bitcoin. Okay, and that's a whole other subject. But the person that wrote this paper is Satoshi Nakamoto. And that is an unknown, mysterious individual or group of individuals that wrote this paper and the blueprint for how the Bitcoin network works, how the algorithm works, how the consensus works, okay? And it reached 10 years base this last year for the coin itself. So Bitcoin's got a lot of promises. We're going to reverse aging. We're gonna have peace in the Middle East. Maybe you heard about this. We're all going to be rich. We're going to go Lambo. So that's the garbage that's out there. You know, that Bitcoin is the cure-all, end-all, or it is the end of the world, right? It's the mark of the beast. It's one or the other. And for me, I just say I'm not a go Lambo guy. I'm about a lamb with a bow for my daughter to play with. I'm a hill person. That's just the way I roll. So whatever reason you're here today, out of curiosity or whatever, I just kind of get a little bold with people and tell them, if you're here to try to get rich quick because you heard about Bitcoin's up to $8,000, happened in a week from diving a little bit below 6,000 to above 6,000. You know, it's probably, you need to be very careful. So I would just recommend, if you're getting started, don't put any more into this than your mad money. You know, like give up a few Starbucks coffees. You know, don't play the lotto. If you go to Vegas, that kind of money. And I believe it's much safer than any of those, you know, gambling choices, or I wouldn't be here. But I'm just saying, it is a new technology. A lot of it is up in the air as far as how it's regulated and how we're going to be going forward with it. But you're pretty safe with Bitcoin and Ethereum right now, because they have been, the federal government has acknowledged them as like a security. So, right. So now we're going to talk about what cryptocurrency is, and hopefully in a way that you'll be able to understand. It's basically a software platform and a database or a network, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to look at some things that you're already familiar with to help you understand the full possibilities of what a cryptocurrency can do. So Windows, it's a software program. You can write information in there, right? They have Windows Word, they have Windows Excel. You can write spreadsheets. You can put data in there. In a spreadsheet, you can even go this and that equals this, okay? And you can put in formulas. Same thing on the network of cryptocurrencies. They're called smart contracts. So smart contract says, if this happens and that happens, if all these things come into agreement, then automatically this happens. So that can make a contract go away and become something electronic. if you're familiar with our laws, email and electronic things are admissible evidence in a court of law. So it is a contractual thing. And it could be a way of getting rid of a middleman in a lot of instances where we're paying a lot of money for middlemen. That's banking industry, real estate, escrow companies, people who hold information. So it's really far-reaching having that type of platform. Dropbox, this is a storage system where, you know, if you have a lot of pictures or data and you're using your smartphone or whatever and you don't want to store it all on your device, or you want to share that information with other people, you pay for that storage, and then you have access, and people that you give access have access to that information. Okay? And then finally, Fedwire, this is just one of the main systems that runs money, electronic transfers of money. Okay? So Bitcoin and cryptocurrency networks are basically all of these things. You put in your fiat, you get the license to use the Windows, or you get the ability to use the storage, or you're able to use the system to transact money, and there's a small transaction fee for that. So the Bitcoin network is really all of those things in one. Okay? And what makes it so beautiful is it's open, but it's still private. So if you send Bitcoin, I'll know how many you sent, and I won't know you did it. I'll know how many were sent by a particular wallet at what time and what wallet they went to. But I will have no idea who they are, what they purchased. I don't know what happened. Okay?
You don't even know what they purchased?
You don't know what they purchased. The only way I'm going to know is if I come and grab your computer. Okay? So the government's already tracking this enough that they feel that, you'll hear a lot of things. Oh, Bitcoin's only for the dark web. It's only for the China robe. It's only for terrorists and drug dealers. But in reality, the rate of people using Bitcoin for these type of purposes has dramatically dropped, and the United States dollar is still the king of funding terrorist and drug activities to this day. There's nothing else that supports it like our currency. Okay, so because they are able to monitor a little bit better and they know what's going on, they have let us have a little more freedom, is my belief.
With all that transaction, then it's basically anonymous with the exception of the wallet ID.
Yes. Right. But if they come get your computer, if they suspect you, like, they can start tracking. Okay. So they can see the other things that the government can see is your VPN or your IPS address, and now they start going, okay, he's in the U.S. Okay, he's in California. Okay, he's in San Bernardino or San Diego. And they start to do that, and then they go, okay, and they can follow that rabbit hole. If they really want to get you, they can eventually get you. And people have been arrested now for doing things on Bitcoin that they shouldn't be doing, okay? So, but there are other currencies that are being utilized more by those type of people because of increased privacy. But we're going to talk about Bitcoin primarily today. So all of those things are built into Bitcoin or most cryptocurrencies. Some of them, Bitcoin doesn't really use the ledger as much except to record its own transactions that are taking place. Okay, but other networks like Ethereum and stuff are using that part of their network to be a third party, to do loans, to do lending, to do. You can have savings accounts that pay automatically. All sorts of things can be done with this. You can own partial shares of stock. If you can't afford a share of Bridgeway Hathaway, you can buy a fraction of it with a cryptocurrency representing your share in that. So there's all sorts of use cases, and we're not going to talk about them all today. But as of 2019, there was 2,091 cryptocurrencies. You probably add another 1,000 to that. There's just tons of them. So a lot of them are junk. A lot of them are just total junk and scams, so you have to be careful. If you're just getting started, just stick with Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you're going to dabble a little deeper, stick with top 10. I'll talk about a couple ones I'm doing that are outside the top 100, just so you know what I'm doing. So these are the real promises of Bitcoin. These are the companies that are looking at using Bitcoin or using a blockchain it's immutable. Once the ledger has been stamped of that transaction or that quid pro or that contract that took place, it's immutable. Nobody can change it. I can't go in and change the contract. And we'll talk about how hard it is to actually go in and break a Bitcoin blockchain record, okay, or a block. It's nearly impossible. As of September 2018, the market cap was 109 billion. I checked it this morning. It's just below 300 billion for the market cap. The whole, not just Bitcoin, but the whole cryptocurrency market cap. Bitcoin was $149 billion this morning. Well over 2 billion in venture capitalist investors. I think it's more like 5 right now. And then as far as where's the price going to go, you got John McAfee saying that it's going to hit $1 million sometime 2020. Okay. I don't know that that's going to happen. It's definitely going to go up over time. It always has. So there's definitely a lot of future in blockchain and Bitcoin. So we look at all the people who are using it right here. You notice a lot of these companies, MetLife, Ford, Facebook, Apple, FedEx, all these different companies, UPS, are involved in Walmart, in a blockchain or in a cryptocurrency. Here's 50 real case uses that are being used right now. We don't have time to go over those. I can send that to you if you want. These are the hottest things in the news right now that are going on with cryptocurrency. Facebook coin is on the map. Amazon, you can buy a managed blockchain right now for your own blockchain. I did a video on that a couple weeks ago. eBay is rumored to be accepting Bitcoin. Also, the update is PayPal told them if you do, we're going to get rid of you. eBay said, is rumored to say, well, we're going to do it. And PayPal said, well, we're going to be a coin. We're going to create our own coin, so stop. So supposedly eBay may stop and be using the PayPal coin, which is up and coming. Morgan Chase has their own cryptocurrency to be used between financial companies. That just came online. And then the 3 bottom ones, which I like more, I did a video on stable coins, which are coins that don't go up and down like crazy. They track usually like the US dollar, or they're just more stable. And they have mechanisms built in it. I did a thing on stable coins and also on corporate coins like Facebook, Amazon, eBay, PayPal, all that, Morgan Chase. Fidelity is offering funds now that invest in cryptocurrencies, so you can look those up. I think it's called Grayscale or something. It's an actual fund that will wheel and deal in cryptocurrency for you on your behalf. So you can get it in your 401k and stuff like that if you have Fidelity. Square is enabling acceptance of Bitcoin to be paid or to be received. And then Backed is interesting. This is the program that runs the New York Stock Exchange. And they actually are poised to be bringing on cryptocurrencies as soon as they can get some clear, defined regulation from the SCE on doing that. And that should be happening. It keeps getting booted down the road, 2 months, 3 months, so it's still up and coming. And Fidelity's got, what was it? I forget how much money they had. That's a ton, like maybe $1 trillion, I forget, don't quote me, but of that money that they hold, there'll be a small percentage of it that goes in cryptocurrency. So it's like the money's starting to go in right now, and that's what's made Bitcoin jump from about 5,000 to where it's at right now, which is about 7,400 when I checked this morning.
With all those major companies, those are some of the global leaders. Why is there? It seems like there's so much mystique or a taboo around the whole Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. If these major players are getting involved, is it actually starting to change the aspect of it?
This is where I cannot help but be a little political. So, remember why I wanted to get into Bitcoin in the beginning?
Remind me.
Because I was afraid that if we didn't, as people around the world, that the government would, and there would be control and manipulation. So there's a congressman right now who said Bitcoin should be banned because it threatens the American dollar, which is used, and he says this in his own words, is used to control and be in power. Okay?
Well, yeah. They got the printing press.
So
We're done.
here's what's happened. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies got under the wire. The government didn't take it serious, like they're so, reactive as opposed to proactive, and it snowballed. And now they know it's a serious thing, and it's not going to go away. So my belief is they're going to put us in a small box, and it's going to be Bitcoin and Ethereum and a few cryptocurrencies. Wall Street sees the money in it, and when they smell blood, right? They want to make money. That's what they're paid to do, is make money. That's what they do. They have had enough political power. You have states like Colorado, you have states like Wyoming, and different states that are fighting for cryptocurrency rights and trying to beat the government so that they can be a safe haven for it. So we're at this point, right, where you got half want to ban it, like all the billionaires that are in banking, they want to ban it. Why do you think that is? We just talked about the ledger and how it gets rid of a lot of the banking. We just talked about interest payments and saving payments. The banks don't like that. So they're trying to jump in. Morgan Chase, that's basically a bank, right? Ripple is another company that actually is traded on the cryptocurrency exchanges, and it's also designed, it's very centralized. It's not decentralized. So I think now these corporations are jumping in because they're like, oh my God, well, we get involved. We'll be open to the government. We control it. Why let the government get in control? You've got countries like Iran. You've got countries like Venezuela. And you got United States looking at making a cryptocurrency. But these countries are already making their own currency. You got other countries looking at making their own cryptocurrency because they want to control it. So these companies are like, you got Facebook. What is it, 3 billion members around the world? Do you imagine the power they're going to have if they create? They'll be bigger than the Federal Reserve right off the bat. So the power that comes along with them guys getting involved is going to be huge. That's why they're jumping in. I don't support that kind of stuff myself, but people are going to put their money in Facebook, whether I like it or not. They're going to jump on this coin. So that's my political spew. I'm going to stop right there, but that's why all these big rollers are in there, because it's coming. It's just who's going to be in control. Okay. All right. Let's get off of that, because that's. I think we'll have some form of where we're into it, but I think it's going to be pretty limited in the end. But so it's a trust machine. We talked about it's immutable. It's coming. Nobody's going to stop it. They're teaching people in schools now, and it all goes back. People are like, I don't want this. It's funny money. I don't want it. But we've been doing stuff like this before on a trusted ledger, as opposed to trading food for something or bartering, or as opposed to trading using gold or money or fiat. And they would just mark on this. This was found in Uganda. It's estimated to be over 6,000 years old. And there's a little piece of quartz on the top, and they would mark on this. And each person would have part of this, and they would be able to record, like, well, you brought me a bunch of lion hides, and so the lion hides are here, and here's what I gave you in corn and fish or whatever, right? And they would keep track of it. The tally stick, you probably heard about the tally stick. This is really interesting because each piece would have to match, and you couldn't just like forge a groove, otherwise it's not going to match up with the other guy. You have to agree to that groove together, and then you could pass that stick on to someone else after you give something of value, and then you'll be able to take this to the granary in the area, in the little community that you lived in, and be able to get the granary, and then they would mark it. So you have marks, I forget which ones, but one's on top or the value you have in it, and one or vice versa, and the others are what you take out of the granary. So you couldn't forge that because the wood grain matches and also the grooves match. So that matching is what I'm trying to tell you, because that's how the blockchain is built, and it's immutable. So that's what we're going to go into next, is actual little kind of visual on how a blockchain is going to work. And this is not, scientific explanation. This is a visual explanation for a novice.
And what's immutable mean?
Immutable means you can't change it.
Okay.
Yeah, it cannot be changed. So this link and all the other links I'm going to show you are on your thing if you want to look at them more and go over it again. But the blockchain is basically going to be a database. It's going to be shared across that network of computers, much like those there. You can build your own. You can use your own laptop and download the right algorithm and do it. There's all sorts of different ways that network can run. Everybody's looking for the most energy efficient way. So here's a real basic understanding. You have a record, you have a block, and you have a chain. So if you can't see, the record is the square, the white square, and the block is the blue square, and then the chain is the rolled up roll of tape there. So in step one, you have a transaction. Basically, you just, someone has some money, they have something they want, they make the transaction, that becomes a record, okay? Once the record is done, that goes into the network. Those little blue dots that turned white are all nodes. Those are all little computers out there that are verifying this record, making sure that everything matches, like in our tally stick and such. And once that happens, a majority of them come to a consensus, an agreement, then that becomes agreed upon, and it can now become part of the block. Okay, that record can become part of the block. There the record is going into the block with a bunch of other little records. Each end of the block has a hash. The hash is like the marks on that tally stick, only much more complicated. And those match up to the last one. So each new block starts with a copy of the last block. Those two match up, and then it creates a new hash on the bottom, and the next block that attaches to it will have to match that block. And this is how the blocks and the chain are built. So one more time, the record goes into the block. All the records are completed. Now the block is given a hash. The other hash matches the existing chain, and it can go to the blockchain.
And how many transactions go into making one of those larger blocks?
A lot.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how many right offhand, but I can tell you once a block has been formed, the reward for hashing that block and forming that block is 6 bitcoins. And 6 bitcoins, well, 6 times 8 is what, 48? So $48,000. Pretty good payday, right? So lots of guys will get their miners and they will pool together. Okay, so Steve, let's say we all get together and we all run our miners, and then if any one of us solves a block, if we're the lucky one out there that solves a block, we're going to get $48,000 and we divide it up amongst us.
Sells a block, is it, or is it solved?
Solves the block. So it's crypto, everything is cryptographically encoded, okay? And we're going to talk about what a cryptographic code is so you can understand how hard it is to figure out. It takes a lot of computing power, and they're working, there's all sorts of other coins that have looked at ways of making it cheaper. Bitcoin is utilizing a lightning network to make it happen quicker. There's all sorts of things that are being done to make it quicker because it uses a lot of energy. The Bitcoin network is an energy hog, plain and simple. So that will be changing. That's already up and coming, the network. I mine other coins that only use a little tiny board like this. This little board right here, it has a fan on top, but the board's only right there. This little board right here is called a Raspberry Pi. You can buy them for about 35 bucks. Program a little SD card in there with the algorithm, and I'm mining whatever I want, okay? Whatever coin I put the algorithm in. And it runs, 8 of these is less than a 60-watt light bulb to run. So I can run 8 nodes or 8 computers for less than a 60-watt light bulb. This guy here, this is one node with extremely high hashing power, the ability to be able to solve those two ends to make a match. And it runs at 950 watts at 120 volts. Energy hog.
It's like running a microwave nonstop.
You know why it's sitting right here on this counter? It makes a better paperwork than a moneymaker at this point, okay? So you think computers get outdated quickly? They say every 6 months, you know, you've been outdated or it's doubled. Yeah, same thing in this industry. Same thing, stuff doesn't last long. This is actually a gaming card right here. It's a graphics card. if your grandkids or kids like to play games, or you like to play games, you're going to want a nice video card. This guy right here, GPS or GPU. So this thing is processing and will process very quickly, and they use this to mine typically Ethereum, but you can mine Bitcoin with it too. Okay. So as those are mining, they're really solving these blocks is what's happening. And they call it mining because when you're mining, you know, sometimes you just get dirt, right? Sometimes you hit, wow, I hit something, you know, and you hit a little pocket. Well, that's why they call this mining, because you're out there and you're processing. Sometimes you hit it, sometimes you don't. So typically what you do is you pool together with a lot of other people. That way you get a payday every day. You're getting a little bit of money because they're solving blocks all the time, because there might be hundreds of computers in this pool. Okay. So there it is. That's the blockchain basics. All right. Oh, there it is. So there's actually like it's more like a space, like how many bytes is what a block really is. It's a certain amount of data that's in it.
Per each block, and then
Per
each
each
block
block.
makes that
Right.
network that needs to be hashed.
Right.
Okay, and it's solving the network and tying them together is where the payout comes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Once you do that, it's in the algorithm that you would receive a payout, and actual another Bitcoin is created from within the system and deposited into your wallet. Okay. So when you sign up as a miner, you are getting into the algorithm. You're getting a special username and password and all of that, and you're putting your wallet address in there. You're giving them your public address, and that way you get paid every time a block happens. Or if you pool, you join a company. The company has one wallet set up, but once they're paid, they distribute it to everybody else in their community. Okay, so we can go into that more if it's.
No, I probably never did
Yeah, it's pretty complicated. Yeah, no doubt. Okay, great. Now we're going to talk about, so basically most people want to know about Bitcoin. You know that it is a data system, it stores information, it moves currency. So that's the basics about Bitcoin. The blockchain is records that are built up and become part of this unchangeable, immutable chain of information. So now how do you store this magic money? Okay, you can't put it in your pocket, right? So you need a wallet. I found this old thing here, you know, what's in your wallet, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
So this is safe, right? You lose your wallet, they take your cash and it's gone. You're not getting it again. They get your credit cards, maybe they get the numbers and they start buying stuff. But with these traveler's checks, these are very safe. Nobody's going to get them, supposedly, right? You're safe. So you got exchanges where you keep cryptocurrency. You got an online cloud wallet. You got downloadable application, like you have a phone. Everybody have a phone with smart apps?
Yeah.
Everybody? Okay.
Yeah.
You got one too? Got a phone with smart app? Okay.
Better
That's
have-
all it is, application. You got hardware wallet, cold storage, and custodian, or even a paper wallet. So first we'll talk about the exchanges. There's lots of exchanges out there. I'm not going to go over every one of them. They get hacked sometimes. That's the way it is. Binance just got hacked. They lost 7,000 Bitcoins at $40 million. They had enough money paid back. They went in, they closed off all transactions for a week. They went in and they found the weakness. They took care of it. They're back in order. They refunded everybody's money. They're making billions.
Wow.
Billions. It's a huge amount of money going in and out of these. Coinbase is the place to begin for beginners, in my opinion. It's my opinion. Coinbase and Coinbase Pro. Okay? You got all the information for that on your handout. Their sister companies, once you sign up for Coinbase, this is the best way that I know of to take your fiat currency and buy your first Bitcoin or top cryptocurrencies, because they don't sell thousands of cryptocurrencies. They only sell the top ones. Here's a bunch of other exchanges. I said they get hacked. They've all been hacked. The good ones take care of the people and stay in business. The crummy ones are never to be seen again. That happens too. So this one was hacked. I had a few dollars in there. They've gotten back on their feet again. It's all there. Everything's good. Binance, I said, was just hacked. Bittrex has been hacked. All these have been hacked. I've used that one, that one, that one. That's it. So here's your different types of wallets. Do not leave your money on the exchange, by the way, guys. If you're going to be a day trader, then you may want to leave it on there. But what happens is they have one wallet and they give everybody APIs for a particular coin, and it's just not as safe as if you had your own. Bottom line. So you got desktop, mobile, and cloud. I don't recommend cloud. I wouldn't do that. Mobile, you got to be careful with what you put on there. I wouldn't keep my life savings of Bitcoin. I wouldn't keep more than I would keep in my wallet. So if I keep $50 in my wallet, $100 in my wallet, I wouldn't keep any more than that on my phone. Desktop, it can be good, but if the desktop breaks or blows up or whatever, you have to have the information that you need to retrieve your account. It's not as easy as when you're banking. There's a little bit more to it. It's getting easier year by year, but we're still not quite there. It's still a little technical to get into. Hard wallet, I got one right here. This is a ledger. It's just a little zip drive basically, but it has a digital readout. And I don't know if I can plug it in to turn it on, but you type in your code, you plug it into your computer, you can get access to your coins. It's actually storing my information and my coins offline where nobody can get it. Okay, hard wallet. So if you're gonna keep more than a couple $100 or so, and you're gonna keep it for a length of time, I would suggest getting a hard wallet. I've got a link there for the Ledger Nano. Pretty reliable hard wallet to use if you're gonna get into cryptocurrency. Now we're gonna get into the safety. So, and realize this is good for your banking, your investing, your retirement fund, any of those things that you're getting on the computer or your smartphone to do. Please realize this will make you much safer. Please realize when you hear about Bitcoin getting hacked or people losing money, you hear about it for 2 weeks on every station, day and night. But when the banks, it happens in the banks all the time, and they lose $1 billion. I just saw it happen 2 months ago. It didn't even make the front page. It was obscured in the back. So utilize these techniques, you'll be pretty safe. Two-factor authentication. You can do this for your email accounts. You can do this for your bank account. And for God's sake, do it for your cryptocurrency should you get involved. All it is it's a little app. You go to the Google store and you get Google Authenticator. I'm going to open it up for you right now. You see all those blue codes right there? Okay. Write one down real quick right now. Get in my account and hack it. Go ahead. That'll get you right in. Okay. You need my email and my password too. And then they're going to send you another email. You're going to have to verify that. Oh, and then you're going to have to verify the IP address if you have it set up that way. You can do it where you just log in and go get the money. See, did it turn red already?
It did.
Okay, when it turned red, it's changed. The numbers have changed already. Real estate people used to use what they call tokens. Steve's familiar with it. It just changes the code every so many minutes. So I use my phone as a security device. And then I have a computer set aside for my cryptocurrency that I don't do anything else but crypto on that computer. Okay?
Wow.
So two-party authenticator can protect your email, can protect your bank account, your trading platform. All of these sites, and especially cryptocurrency, will let you have a second-party authenticator. If you don't have one, get one. Do it. It's the only way to be. Don't use public Wi-Fi for any of your crypto or banking stuff. You're at risk. Beware of downloads on your computer or cell phone. You get a pop-up that says, update your security, update this. And you just hit, yeah. Whoa. People put things out there that get opened with something else you open that will pop up the next time you turn on your computer and look like an update. And it's not an update. It's malicious. Okay? It's a virus.
Oh, wait a minute. You mean like when it says Dill? Dan told me to update all those.
Okay, so here's how you do it. You realize what your account is. You set up an account. When you set up your account, you're on the Dell website. Bookmark the website on your computer. Okay? That's on there. Bookmark the website.
Oh.
Don't go to the pop-up. Don't go to the email. Don't go to the link. Go to the website. If they have an update and it's legitimate, you'll be able to get in your account and it'll pop up there. That's where you need to do it. Don't do it. Do not do it. You're asking for trouble.
All right.
If your bank account, your savings account, your retirement, or your crypto. All right? If you're going to get into crypto, get a separate email just for your crypto. It's my recommendation. Don't name it, I'm a crypto billionaire, come rip me off. Don't name it anything crypto or Bitcoin. Name it something, you know, that's just kind of under the wire. Because people go out and they look for these type of emails, and then they try to hack into your email account, and then they try to find information. Okay? You don't want that. I know I'm paranoid, but remember I said I was paranoid. Remember I said I was cautious? When it comes to investing, I'm very cautious. Never use a password memory function. How many just go, oh, you know, memorize the password?
Oh, when it says, you want me to save this? Oh, yeah.
Don't do it on your cryptocurrency, for God's sake, or anything you do banking on. If you get any kind of banking statements through your regular email, I would say change it and don't save the password memory. Okay? How are you going to remember all these passwords? You keep a book. You do. You keep a book, and you make a copy of it on your printer. You make a copy of every page. Every time you make a new page, you make a copy of that, and you put it in your fireproof safe, or you put it in the down at the safe deposit box.
You can't remember all yours?
No, and you shouldn't be able to either.
No, and then they make you, even if you thought you could, like I've heard people say, all of mine are the same, and I think, no, because you make you change them all the time, or you're smart, you do change them anyways.
One of the prices to getting into Bitcoin and buying it maybe today at 7,400 and it going up to 20,000 by the end of the year or in next year is that if you lose your passwords, you lose your what's called a seed. It's a way of recovering. You lose those, you lose your money. Okay, there is nobody to call to help fix it up for you. Okay, so that's one of the downsides. I can't help you, and you're going to find out why. You're going to find out why in just a few minutes. Your private keys. So when you have Bitcoin, you have a public address and a private address. Never give the private one. The public one is the one you need to make transactions, buying and selling. Okay? Don't take a picture of it. Don't keep an email of it. If you've got pictures or emails of passwords from your bank accounts, your retirement accounts, your savings accounts, any of those things right now, go back, print out 2 copies each, and delete them. Okay? And clean your disk on your computer and make sure that it's gone. Okay. Use only one computer for crypto if possible. It's not necessary, but if you have an extra computer, it's a great way to do your trading and things like that. The original Bitcoin millionaires, they have these huge safe deposit boxes filled with laptops. Because back in those days, they didn't have wallets and stuff like this. When I had my Bitcoin, I had to buy the wallet. They're free now. And they put them on laptops. So there's guys with safe deposit box filled with laptops that's got, you know, maybe 100,000 Bitcoins on them or whatever. Keep a backup paper wallet. Whenever you start a wallet, you will have the ability to make a paper copy of your public key, your private key, and what is called a seed. The seed, we'll talk about the seed, but it is a code to be able to recover your money. If your computer burns up, if you lose your phone, if your hard wallet gets crushed, if any of those things get destroyed, it's still retrievable if you have that paper wallet. Keep a copy in your safe deposit box. Never post or tell anybody how much cryptocurrency you have. Never. I won't tell you how much I have. I'll tell you what I invest in, you know, to a degree. Don't do it. When you go to a website, people used to go www, now it's HTTP. Make sure there is an S when you bookmark your site for the exchanges and all your cryptocurrency stuff. Again, your banking, your retirement, your savings, all that stuff. That S means secure, okay? That's the secured site. They have put in things in place to keep other people from coming in and getting what you have. It's more encrypted, it's safer, okay? Be aware of mirror sites. Sometimes you think you're going to a site, maybe you think you're going, oh, Mountain Crypto. Not that I'm that popular or famous, but you'd be surprised who they'll mirror. or you get an email from somebody, me or somebody else, more popular, much more known. You get these emails, you think it's from them. Don't trust it. There's a lot of phishing, phone calls, emails, attachments, all those things. Be very safe, okay? If you take anything home today, take that. There's a paper wallet, private address right there, public address right there. You got a QR code, you can scan that with your phone, and then you got the seed, okay? So here's wallet basics. Here's your wallet, here's your private key you never give anyone, and here's your public key. Here's their private key and public key. Once these two private keys are given to each other, the transaction can take place. The hashing figures out this part. That's the part that makes it so safe and complex. We'll talk about that. All right, now we're going to talk about how safe is your wallet, which is an address, really. Okay, how safe is it? You see this checkerboard right here? Each one of those checkers is one Bitcoin wallet. If it was 1 inch, we're going to talk about how vast this is and how hard it is to break it. So here's your Bitcoin. Here's your Bitcoin address right here. You got numbers and you got letters, uppercase and lowercase. They represent this number down here. See that huge number right there? Okay. So that number there is 2 to whatever, 2 to the power of 160. So in other words, it's 146 followed by 46 zeros. It's a big number, right? But really, what does that mean? Okay. Our chessboard, those 1 inch squares stand for the Bitcoin address. If you could travel at the speed of light, okay, and you did it for 3 million years, you could cover the distance of 1 row of that chessboard of all the possible addresses that are out there. How much energy does that take? That takes a lot of energy to do that. It takes, at the time this was wrote up, it takes 7 million, I think it's right down here, $7,500,000 in electricity, just to check 1 row, okay? With no funds being found, most likely. So this says 5 million addresses have been used on a Bitcoin account right now. It's probably closer to 6. So when you have your wallet, okay, and you're making transactions with your Bitcoin, maybe you decide you want to trade and you go to an exchange, or maybe you decide you want to buy something, or whatever you're going to do with it. You can create within your wallet as many public addresses as you want. Each one's an individual address. I would say do that. Don't use the same address for everything you do. Use different ones. It's just safer, okay? Harder for people to track what's going on, where you're at, who you are, what you've got, okay? Less of a target mark on you. So that's why there's so many. Even though there's 6 million addresses, there's only about, at the very most, 15 to 20,000 people that are really involved in cryptocurrencies right now, buying and selling and trading. Okay, it varies between 10 and 15,000, but if they estimate about 20,000 people are pretty regularly buying, selling, and trading. That's it. In America, last year, 8% of people actually said they had dabbled with Bitcoin or actually own a little Bitcoin. Now it's 9%. So it's still early phase right now. Okay, we're pre.com right now, but we're getting there, and we'll probably fastly approach that in the next couple years, is my guess. All right, so now if you want to find a address, one of those addresses, and you use all the computers in the world, all the supercomputers, and you even use the whole Bitcoin network, and you want to find one with some money, nefariously, it's going to take you 2.5 quadrillion years to find one. Okay? That's a long time just to find one. But how much money is in there, right? So if you spent 13.8 billion years, the time that the universe is believed to, from beginning to now, if you spent all of that time searching for Bitcoin, you would find 0.0006. You'd be 0.0006 of the way to finding one funded Bitcoin wallet. And in that wallet, about 80 to 90% of them just got a few dollars, less than a couple hundred. You wouldn't be rich. Very few of them have, thousands or millions of dollars in them. So the point is, this is not going to happen, okay? And I've had people say, well, what about quantum computers? Bitcoin community has already thought about that. if quantum computers become, where you can actually afford one, they're like, $1 million now, pretty much got to be a university or something to operate it. You're still going to use a ton of electricity. It's not going to be worth it for quite a while. They've already got algorithms and plans in store to combat that when it happens. Okay, just fight fire with fire, basically. So it's very hard, and really impossible to crack it. Nobody has cracked the Bitcoin blockchain. Nobody. So it's very safe. Coinbase. So now, if I haven't scared you away, if you're still interested in getting involved in Bitcoin, it can be very simple. You open up an account with Coinbase. I have a link there. If you put $100 in, they'll give you an extra $10, and they give me a $10 referral fee. It's on your thing there, or you can go to my website. There's a link there. Okay. And then, let's see, I will show you how that all works. Okay, here's, I think I already had it open, actually. Is it this one? Yeah, here. All right, so here's the basics. You go there. Now, Coinbase is a good company because it is SCE licensed. So you've got some, it is based, they do have an office and are based out of New York. Your U.S. funds are FDIC insured up to $200,000. The cryptocurrencies are not insured, but they have proven to back it up every time. So I feel this is a very safe, reliable entry point for people to get in. They've made it user-friendly for a beginner. So you just go to Coinbase.com, sign on, and there's the registration, just a little bit of information, your email. You verify your email. You add your phone number, okay, because you're going to want to put that second authenticator, and you're going to want, and once you build the account, you just go into their site, and it'll say second authenticator, and they send you a code and validate it. It's a pretty basic walkthrough system so that you're safe. I recommend that you're going to also verify your identity. The way they usually do this is you hold up a current driver's license or passport. They usually have you write a little tag with the name of their company, Coinbase, and the date. You send that picture to them while you're doing this process, and they'll verify that. That's how they do it. So there it is. And then you would be wise to set up a bank account. Now, if you want to be real safe, you can get a free bank account with credit union or U.S. Bank or whatever. You want to just keep your crypto separate from other stuff. Set up a bank account. Do your crypto through that. Fidelity, U.S. Bank, credit unions have all proven to work good with cryptocurrency companies as of now. And once you set up your bank account, what will happen is you'll be able to buy your fiat, okay? Now, I do buy fiat or spend fiat for cryptocurrency, just like this. I'll show you guys so you know. I have an app on my phone. This is the only cryptocurrency actual app that I have is on my phone, and it's for Coinbase. The rest of them are only the second party authenticator. I never keep any more than like $50 or $100 on here or whatever. I don't keep that much on here. I think I gotta, why is it not letting me? Just, my settings are not right here. Okay, try again. Didn't want to work. Okay, let's try one more time.
Grandkids. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry, but I have to go.
Oh, no worries. Okay, here we go. We're on the downhill stretch here. I was doing fine before, so I don't know what happened here. The library is not being good to me. Okay, there we go. All right, now maybe it should let me do this, hopefully. Okay, so I'm kind of doing what I told you not to just do, is get on a public Wi-Fi. But I want to show you. I've only got 99 bucks on here. Basically, you've got. So you go to accounts. When you go to accounts, you've got this choice of all these different things that you can get, coins or whatever, on there. You just pick the one that you want. I picked USD, and then I can make a deposit. My bank account comes up. I hit bank deposit, and then I can put in the amount and then hit deposit, and that's how I get my fiat started in the system. Okay, it's that easy. Now once it's in there, they take about 7 to 10 days to get it in their system and verify and all of that. So that's probably how they make money, holding it that few days, but that's how it works. And then you have it on Coinbase. Okay. Now you can buy cryptocurrency directly from Coinbase, but they charge you about 3 to 5%, so it's kind of high. So I'm going to show you real quick a way to get it for 0.3%, and you have all these handouts. And this is the cheapest, safest way I know of buying Bitcoin. So if you want to buy $100 worth of Bitcoin, it'll cost you 30 cents to do it the way I'm showing you right now, which is deposit your USD in here, and then their sister company is called Coinbase Pro. And you have all the information is in there for this. Why is my mouse not working? Okay, I'm going to escape. No?
We see it behind you.
Yeah, why is it not here? Oh, that's weird. Oh, that is weird. Oh. That's weird. What is going on with this thing? Technical difficulties. Every time I do one of these, something
fails,
just
right?
acts weird. I don't get it. It does. Oh, it's back now. Okay. Finally. Hope it doesn't close them all. Okay, now we're back where we were. Great. Okay. So you have the link for this. This is a complete beginner's guide to Coinbase Pro. So what happens in a nutshell is these two accounts, once you open your Coinbase account first, then you can open this Coinbase Pro. It's much more sophisticated. It's like a trading platform. You can see, so there is ETH USD. So if you were going to buy Ethereum, ETH is Ethereum, you would go here and you would be able to look at the prices. This is how easy it is. Once you have this account, you will click deposit, which is up in the top left-hand corner. This walks you all through it, and you can hit on the top of that screen. Once you hit once you hit deposit right there, this opens up, and there's something here that says bank account, and there's also one that says Coinbase account. So you hit the Coinbase. You would hit USD, you would hit Coinbase right here, and it would open up, and you could put max, and if I put $25 in there, the $25 would go to this. Now it's in Coinbase Pro. I can make a market order for Bitcoin, and it's only going to cost me 30 cents for $100 worth. That's the cheapest, best, safest way I know to buy it. Okay. If you buy it on the Coinbase app, it's easy, but you're going to pay a little bit premium for that simplicity of just going, okay, I want $100 in Bitcoin. $100 comes out of your bank account. You buy it at that price, which is nice. So if you think Bitcoin's going to go to the moon, you're willing to pay 3 to 5%, depending on how much traffic's on the network, is how the fee goes up and down on that. Then you can do that. But I ladder in. And this is an investment advice, but I ladder in. So if I have 25 bucks every couple of weeks, I put it on my Coinbase. When it's ready, I drop it into Coinbase Pro. When the candles are red, I'll show you that. That's when I buy. Okay. So we're almost over. Is anybody interested in how the price of Bitcoin is what it is?
I would like to know that.
Okay. So since I have this slide, it's a good way of knowing. So here's on the exchange. There's several exchanges. The top ones are Coinbase and Binance and some of those ones that you'll become familiar with if you get in this game. So the red candles are a drop in price. The green candles are a rise in price. Down here at the bottom, these are the people that want to buy. And over here in the red, these are the people that want to sell. So basically, the buyers and the sellers are making the price. If the sellers don't want to sell, let's say Bitcoin's at $6,000 and all these guys want $6,005. What's going to happen is the sellers are not going to get their orders filled. Okay? And the red is the price, because nobody's buying, the price is going to probably just stay the same. It's going to go sideways. Once somebody starts to either sell or buy at a certain price, then that's what drives the arrow up or down. So if it was at 6,000 and these guys aren't willing to buy at 605, it's going to stay at 6,000 until somebody says, you know what, I want to sell. I'll sell at 5,995. Now the price is going to go down. But if these guys go, man, you know, we're not going to get, you know, we're going to hold out for the 6,005, and the buyers say, well, if I'm going to buy it, I guess I'm going to pay 6,005. Then the price goes up. Okay, so that's really how the price happens, right there. Now, what happens is another interesting correlation between what's happening here in the weeds, you know, or on the battlefield, I guess you could say. We're going to go to a website, cap.com. Now this is a pretty good site. You can pretty much trust their links, I would say. This has the top 100 cryptocurrencies. This is current right now, live. We'll just click on Bitcoin, and you can see it tells you what the price has been over time. You can usually connect to the website. You can look at the white paper, all kinds of information right over here that you can look at, technical documentation, source code, all if you want to get that deep. So all of those exchanges are monitored by these type of organizations. There's Coin Paprika, CoinMarketCap.com. Those are the two biggest ones, but there's other ones. And what they do is they look at all the major exchanges, what the price is right now, and they come up with an average. And that's the price you're getting. Now, we talked about Bitcoin. This morning, the market cap was at 149,000. So I'm betting the price is down. Okay, it's down. Remember I said 7,400 something? We're down. Remember I said the market cap was 149 billion? Now it's 129, so the price has gone down. You take the market cap, which is all the money that's in the market, and divide it by the circulating supply, and you can do that on your phone if you want to. You're going to come up with this number right here. Exact number. So they correlate. And that's the number that's being bought and sold right now. Okay? And that's how the price, but ultimately it's the buyers and sellers that determine the price, but you can kind of figure it out this way too as well. Okay? And we are just about done. And once you get your cryptocurrency, you know, if you have more than a couple $100, it's time really to start thinking about putting it on a wallet, hard wallet, or on your desktop on an application. Okay, I wouldn't keep your stockpile on your phone. Like I said, that the money that's on there right there, I'm about ready to transfer that off. So onto something like this hard wallet here, or on my desk app on my computer. So I want to talk about, if you're interested, if you're done, you're done, but everybody always asks me a couple other coins that are not top 10. I always say if you're a beginner, stick with the top 10. But if you're looking for something a little more exciting and on the cusp, there's a couple companies I'm involved in, just as they don't pay me or anything like that to say anything. I just do it because I think it's a pretty cool project. We talked a lot about centralized and decentralized. Skycoin is a really neat project. The main guy in Skycoin, his name is Synth. he was an early guy in Bitcoin. Bitcoin didn't just come out of the gate smooth without problems. It had problems, and he got in there technical and fixed a lot of them. And he is the mastermind behind this company, but they also have some of the brains from Ethereum, all kinds of developers and stuff like that. Skycoin is an interesting coin. It uses a very low power device, so it doesn't eat up all the energy like Bitcoin. They've created their own decentralized internet. And that's something you may not have heard about, but our internet is very controlled. Russia monitors, America monitors, China monitors, and they say what can and can't go in and out. So a lot of people have issues with that because it seems like it turns more political than, it's always about, the terrorists and the drugs and this and that, but it always seems to change. The agenda changes. And a lot of people don't like that. So a lot of people are open to a decentralized currency, decentralized information. Bitcoin can't be stopped, by the way. And this will not be stopped either. And the reason why, you can turn off, I have a solar thing that will run my mining unit right now. My inverter's broken, but it will do it. I've done it. It will run, I could run this miner right here for a while, that big one. Not long, because I don't have enough power, but I could. I run the small ones and run them all the time. With a little tiny antenna, like you see right here, there's these little rooftop antennas. You can enable a mesh net. There's actually, you've seen the signs around town, mountain mesh net. They use these little antennas to get internet to people that don't have cable, and they want higher speeds than what you would get on a phone line, okay? So Bitcoin can be ran no matter what. They could outlaw it in America, it's not gonna kill it. They can outlaw it in China, it's not gonna kill it. They can outlaw it wherever they want. It's not going away. And that's one of the reasons I think, because it's limited, there's a limited supply, it's not going to take over the world. So I think that's why our government has said, yeah, you can have it. You can do with it, but we want to know everything about it. We want to know everything you're doing. So this is a decentralized internet. It can't be stopped. It's got its own programming language. The Skycoin generates what's called Skycoin hours. And these are utilized to be able to use the network for free. So their grand design is to have free internet. They already have sold items. They sell hardware. They sell, they aren't getting a hard wallet here anytime. I don't know. They keep testing it to make sure it's safe. And pretty neat company that I've been following for quite a while. I mine Skycoin profitably, and it's really hard to mine anything profitably because of the electric cost. So, and the Skycoin hours are a lot like, you guys are not really familiar with any cryptocurrencies, so this might be a little bit over your head, but some coins generate another coin, and that other coin can be used to encourage people to hold it, okay? So that it's not all being bought and sold all the time, and that they have that money available to them. They can do things, and they pay you kind of an interest of sorts, and that's what that extra coin is. So like Neo pays you gas. Skycoin pays you Skycoin hours. And you can use those to run the network. Another company that I really like is here in San Diego. It's called the XYO company. The gentleman who is the founder, his name's Ari, one of the founders. He's the main founder. He's a bit of a boy genius, and he created these location devices and was actually had a profitable geolocation device company called the XY Findables. And you can put these on your keys, locate your keys if you lost them. Now these devices are being utilized for pets and stuff. So these are them right here. Each one of these actually gives more verification of the location. And that's very important. There's so much to talk about what's coming up in the future, guys. Your kids, your grandkids are going to be greatly affected by what's going on. Who's heard of driverless cars? Okay, so they're being used right now. That'll be approved in 2020. The only thing they really have to do is prove that it's safer than what the general population does, that accidents be lower than that. And they've already done that. It's going to happen. But they use a lot of sensors. They use GPS, which sometimes can be affected between buildings and stuff. This is an extra layer, okay? You can be on the ground to make things safer. You have Amazon, you have FedEx actually looking at this product right now. They are, if you want to check your package, you can see the last place it was, but you really don't know where it was, okay? This will tell you at any given moment where the item is and verify it, okay? People can use this as advertising. Like if you want a coupon and you go down there and verify you're there, we'll give you this great deal, right? So it's got a lot of use cases. They're using it on animals and dogs and geolocation right now. So you can mine this right now for free if you want. Who wants to start mining and making money right now? Okay, go to your phone, you go to app, XYO Coin app. That's not on your handout. So if you want to mine a little cryptocurrency for free, it's just for fun. You're not going to make $1 million or anything. You put it on your app. I have one right here. Now I make a little bit more because I bought these devices right here, and the more equipment that you get, they have all sorts of different opportunities for mining. But if you just want to get started in something that's free and fun, right there, I'm going to turn it on. Okay, so it's checking and verifying my location right now. I have a Sentinel. That was that little device. These are Sentinels. You don't have to have a Sentinel, but if there's a Sentinel in the room, it will sense it. You'll sense my Sentinel, and we'll share the rewards for this area. And it just shot me up some coins. Shoots them up here. You can keep the coins. Once you get 10,000 coins, you can download them into a wallet. It's about $5 worth of coins right now. Okay, the price goes up and down. So we've done real good with this. We're definitely in the plus area with XYO mining and our goings on with them. So that's about it. Any questions on anything?
I'd like to talk to you privately.
Sure. Anything at all?
No.
I got
So,
business
Jeff-
cards. If you guys want to email me or whatever, you know,
Here's
you got to come up with a
some-
question. I want you to be safe. If you're going to get into this, it is getting easier all the time. Okay, people are creating devices and stuff that make it much more like a 4-digit code. If you want to do that, they're still kind of in the beginning. I'm not recommending them yet because I need to see that people are getting hacked first. You want people to get hacked, believe it or not, because you want to find the weaknesses. So these companies, when they come out, they usually do a test period. All these companies I've dealt with have a test period where they say, okay, you know what? We'll pay you $1,000 to $10,000 to hack us. But you got to tell us what you did, okay? And depending on how critical you got into it, the bigger the reward. So the more you can mess with them, the more they pay you. I'm serious. They call it hackathons. They have whole buildings that we just missed going to one a few weeks ago. Whole buildings full, warehouse full of sometimes hundreds of people. All hackers, computer geniuses, trying to figure out a way to overcome the system so they can find a vulnerability and make it safe before they unroll it to you and I. Okay? So, you know, I got a saying, though, they always build a better idiot, right? You try to make it idiot-proof, we always build a better idiot. They always have to make changes, though, to update, because it's just the nature of technology. So be as safe as you can.
Okay, well,